Taylor and Jacob from the Infinity Ward team. And we've got a ton of questions we're going to ask them, including some of yours right now. But first things first, guys, congrats. Congrats on the big announce.
Thanks.
And what are fans saying? I mean, this made a lot of noise yesterday.
Fans are excited. Fans are super excited. I've never seen a response this big and this amazing, and I think they're curious to hear more.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come, but definitely.
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It doesn't matter what I do, or what I choose. I'm what's wrong.
Yo, what's up, fellow MLG Stud Muffin Call of Duty athletes? I was thinking this morning after yesterday's video where I talked about the Hard Hat 24/7 playlist and the couple games I played on it was the worst experience of my life in a multiplayer I've ever had in my collegiate Call of Duty athletic career. And I just started thinking, like, oh my God, bros, how is Infinity Ward still making Call of Duty games? How does Sledgehammer Games get the boot? I mean, let's just keep it real. Sledgehammer Games ain't exactly like, the bee's knees. They aren't out here setting the world on fire in the Call of Duty world. And it wasn't until Michael Condrey and his boyfriend artist Glenn Schofield were fired that Sledgehammer Games actually made Call of Duty World War II good. But the actual Sledgehammer Games team after Michael Condrey and Glenn Schofield left apparently knew what they were doing, because COD World War II turned into a pretty awesome game. But back to the point about Infinity Ward, how are these guys still allowed to make Call of Duty games and Sledgehammer Games got fired? Let's just think about this for a second. Stay with me here. Infinity Ward is responsible for the 3 most hated Call of Duty games in the world ever made by the large majority of the Call of Duty community. First of all, let's just talk with Modern Warfare 3, which people like a lot. That's not considered the top 3 worst games, but let's just start where it all began after Infinity Ward, the original Infinity Ward with Respawn Entertainment, Vince Zampella and David West, the guys who actually made good Call of Duty games, the guys who are the founding fathers and the brainchilds behind all the great Call of Duty games at the beginning and what started the whole Call of Duty, I guess, mania. But let's just start with Modern Warfare 3, the new Infinity Ward team. Modern Warfare 3 is a watered down, gray, ugly version, copy and paste, no creativity, and nothing really added to what Modern Warfare 2 and the original Infinity Ward team had already developed. It's just a crappy, long story short, copy and paste version of Modern Warfare 2, and that's the only reason why it was marginally good, because most of the work was already done and the original Infinity Ward team had already built the groundwork to make Modern Warfare 3 pretty good. But move on to now that Infinity Ward is all by themselves and they have to make a Call of Duty game on their own, and they can't rely on a Modern Warfare 2 remake called Modern Warfare 3. And what did we get? Call of Duty Ghost, my least favorite Call of Duty in the history of gaming.
What don't you like about Call of Duty Ghosts?
Everything. It's just terrible.
The game's so slow-paced. Good point, eh? So slow-paced, it just encourages bad players.
Another year, another failure. Same different disc. Call of Duty Ghost multiplayer sucks. How surprising.
Why is Call of Duty Ghosts, at least, such a bad game?
I think Ghost is the worst Call of Duty. A lot of the maps on Ghost are bad. They're really big, bad, ugly.
Look at that texture, man.
This game has what are probably the highest system requirements on the market right now, and that is just ridiculous.
Ghosts just feels like a mistake.
I had to spend $8 of my own dollars on this, and I want that $8 back. It's that bad.
The game sucked big time. Long story short, garbage. Then we move on to the next Call of Duty game that Infinity Ward made, Infinite Warfare. Personally, I didn't mind that game. I thought it was pretty good. But if we're talking about the large majority of the Call of Duty community, it's like the most disliked Call of Duty trailer in the history of Call of Duty. Most people hated it. No one wanted to play it. And the majority of you guys, regardless of my opinion on it, hated it. So if we take that into consideration, we got 2 of the worst Call of Duty games by popular opinion so far. Now, hey, current iteration of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. These guys couldn't even think of an original name. They used the name from the very first Call of Duty that the original Infinity Ward team made. And now these reprobates left over made a game called Modern Warfare, which is now considered one of the worst multiplayer experiences in Call of Duty history as well. And I think as far as multiplayer goes, the one I hate the most. I mean, it's a toss-up between Ghost. In fact, I'll say Ghost is better than Modern Warfare. Like if I was ranking Infinity Ward's games, I would go Infinite Warfare, least horrible, Ghost, second least sucky, Modern Warfare multiplayer, the worst Call of Duty experience in my NCAA Division I scholarship Call of Duty athletic career. Garbage. It's a piece of giant shit. I mean, Warzone, I don't know how they pulled that out their ass. I don't know how that even became a good game. I mean, like I said, it's 1 out of 4. I mean, eventually, if you keep trying, you'll hit a bullseye. If you throw enough darts at the board, you'll get a bullseye eventually. And it's not even a bullseye, it's moderately good. Like, it's still not that great. It's just looks good because it's comparing it to Modern Warfare multiplayer. It's like if you stood me next to Optic Nadeshot or whatnot, you're gonna be like, damn, that 8 Thoughts guy's a big stud. Who is this little dork sitting next to him? You know what I'm saying? It's like comparing Goliath to David, or it's comparing Hulk Hogan to Pee Wee Herman. So I don't know how Sledgehammer Games got the boot. I mean, they obviously knew what they were doing, and I don't understand how Infinity Ward has a job. I mean, they failed more times than the black community trying to stop teenage pregnancies. I just wanted to put this video out here because I don't see enough people drawing attention to the fact of just how horrible Infinity Ward is as a development team. They might go down as one of the worst development teams in any multiplayer of any gaming experience in the history of mankind. They're on level with Bethesda and Fallout 76. It is an absolute dumpster fire of a game. It's just horrible. I just hate it, and the majority of the community really doesn't like it either. I mean, you got professional gamers that rely on Call of Duty and their sponsorships of Call of Duty development teams and G Fuel and all that nonsense to make a living, and they're roasting it like Optic Scumpy says it's the worst multiplayer ever. So, I mean, come on now, bros. It's garbage. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Just wanted to get this off my chest. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, start living life right. Make some good decisions today. Subscribe. Smash that like button for Big Daddy 8 Thoughts, the MLG athlete himself. And really, most importantly, and last but not least, I need you all to stay black. Question authority. Don't let the honky cracker bring you down.